hitting another 10 home runs in the month of July. We talked about JT Realmuto hitting, 336, whatever the heck it was in July. That's all great. And those are great things to do in that month. But under that radar, far under that radar, was Nick Castellanos hitting 282 in the month of July. Not amazing, not phenomenal by any means, but good. As I put out on Twitter yesterday, it's good for a guy that was really struggling at the plate and had a lot of issues off the field when it came to not really responding well to reporters, getting booed by the fans, not looking that great in right field to begin with, and just piling it all on from that point on. He steps up to the plate in the month of July, hits 282. Good to see you. Hasn't hit a home run in over a month. I've referenced this many times since September 2015. That was his last homerless month in his big league career. Well, this past July, that broke that trend, unfortunately. But what does he do? On August 3rd of this month, he hits a home run. They say the man gets hot in August. Let's hope that's the case, because he belted the game-winning two-run home run over the center field wall. Give credit to Ruben Amaro Jr. He did call it. I believe he said the left center field wall, but this was more of the dead center field wall. Nonetheless, wins the ball game for the Phillies. You feel great for a guy like Nick Castellanos. Look, I know that he rubs people the wrong way. I know that however he might answer media people's questions. And when I say media people, I'm not just talking about Jim Salisbury. When that issue happened, I brought up the idea, or not brought up the idea, but the example of Nick Castellanos shooting down Tom McCarthy during a post-game on-field interview. Is that a question? Hey, Nick, you're certainly squaring up. Baseball's nice right now. Is that a question? I'll call it a lead-in. It was a lead-in. It was a setup to make you maybe, instead of just ordering you, hey, talk about that. Instead of doing that, I just kind of led you into maybe taking over. Yeah, Nick doesn't do that. Nick hits baseballs. Nick doesn't have a college degree. Nick hits baseballs. It's my Nick Castellanos impression. Brand new. But steps up to the plate, hits that home run, and as everyone is saying, and I am saying, it's his biggest swing as a member of the Philadelphia Phillies. If you have Alec Boehm figuring it out at the plate, if you have JT Realmuto figuring it out at the plate, if you have Kyle Schwarber, who is cooled off a bit, but if he continues to hit bombs for you, oh, and by the way, you get better defensively in center field, which is what we could say about Brandon Marsh, and you get Gene Segura back possibly today, and you get Bryce Harper back by September. The Cardinals, forget about it. The Phillies are going to win the third wild card spot. And this was my feeling going into the trade deadline. This was my feeling really in the early goings of the season when the Phillies were really struggling and still struggling under Joe Girardi. I felt like the talent that they had on the pitching staff with having two solid number one guys, with the lineup that they put together, they were at least going to give you the meaningful games in September. I told you the Phillies had a run in them, even when Joe Girardi was still the manager. I said they got to get rid of Girardi. They got to shake things up. They did that. They go on to win 9 in a row. They're doing phenomenally well under a fifth best record, sixth best record in all of baseball under Rob Thompson. Now you get these guys starting to figure it out that are going to be the heart of your order and get promoted to the heart of your order, a guy like Alec Boehm, for instance. And now you're adding talent in the bullpen like David Robertson, who picked up the save yesterday as first as a member of the Phillies. Nice to see you, David Robertson, getting 2 strikeouts and then a foul out. Yeah, all right. That's a good sign. I mentioned already getting Brandon Marsh in center field, defensive upgrade at the least. Hopefully they can fix his swing. Evan Macy from PhillyVoice.com will be joining us shortly to talk about the trade deadline and how much better the Phillies have gotten through these moves. And then you also bring in a guy, aside from Robertson, you bring in an arm in Noah Syndergaard, who we will see make his Phillies debut tonight. That I think, if all is said, when all is said and done, I think he at least has the opportunity to compete for a start in the playoffs. You might still have Bailey Falter in the rotation later on in the season if Noah Syndergaard starts to break down. We referenced the other day about his starts and how many of them have been on a 6 days rest. 12 of them. 12 of his 15 starts have been on 6 days rest. Good Lord. I understand we're working a guy in easy when it comes to Tommy John surgery and all that, but hey, let's see if we can ramp it up a little bit here. I'm curious to see or hear rather what he has to say about how ready he is, how prepared he is, how ready his body is to take on more of a workload if the Phillies, in fact, call upon him to do that. We'll see how that plays out, but it'll start tonight. But bottom line is the Phillies get a huge win yesterday, split with the Atlanta Braves, a team that's far, far ahead of them in the standings. We get it here in the NL East. But they split in this series. They got a 4-game set coming up against the Washington Nationals, where, yes, you will see Noah Syndergaard pitch tonight. David Robertson already looked like he was zipping it in there pretty well. 4 days between appearances for David Robertson, and looked a little shaky. I think the first 2 pitches he threw were balls, and then he came back around and was able to get the 2 strikeouts to lead off start off his 9th inning. So that was great to see. And then we'll see what Noah Syndergaard can bring, and we'll see the way the Phillies are able to work Brandon Marsh as well as Matt Vierling in center field. So all in all, a pretty good 24 hours for the Philadelphia Phillies, and let's hope that they keep that coming. The guy that we're going to be focusing on for a little bit now is Nick Castellanos, and see if he can do what he has done historically in his career and get hot in the month of August. This would be a great month to do that, as Gene Segura is working himself back in, and then later, hopefully get Bryce Harper getting a couple of more swings under his belt, and then he heats up in the month of September like he did last year. So let's hope that's the case.